If you receive Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or any federal benefit, there is something very important happening right now that could put significantly more money in your pocket, and most people simply haven't heard about it yet. We're talking about a potential raise that is coming in way higher than anyone was expecting, and the economic data that just came out is telling us exactly why. Today, I'm going to walk you through that data, explain what it means for your monthly benefit check, and tell you exactly what to watch for in the coming months. This is not speculation for the sake of it. This is real economic data that directly connects to how your Social Security raise is calculated, and the numbers are genuinely surprising. So stay with me, because this affects millions of Americans who depend on these benefits every single month. Every year, the Social Security Administration determines how much of a raise beneficiaries will receive through something called the Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA. And the way they calculate that raise is by looking at a very specific inflation measurement called the CPIW, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. That data point, buried inside the broader CPI report, is literally the number they plug into the formula that determines how much more money lands in your check each month. Here is what's important to understand right now. The COLA for any given year is determined using inflation data from July, August, and September of the previous year. So the raise you would receive in January of 2027 will be based on the summer 2026 inflation numbers. And right now, the economic data we are already seeing is pointing toward those summer numbers being significantly higher than what we were originally projecting. And we're not just talking about a modest bump. We're talking about numbers that could translate into a substantially bigger raise than what beneficiaries received in recent years. And the wholesale price data that just dropped is a major reason why. Let's talk about that data, because this is the heart of the story. Just recently, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, also known as the BLS, released the latest Producer Price Index, or PPI, report. This is an inflation measurement that tracks prices at the wholesale level, meaning what businesses and producers are paying before goods ever reach your local store shelf. Think of it this way. When a producer or manufacturer pays more for raw materials and wholesale goods, what do? They pass that cost along. If wholesale prices go up, retail prices follow, because the business selling you that product isn't going to absorb the loss. They're going to charge you more at the register. So the PPI is essentially an early warning signal. It tells us what's coming to retail prices before it actually gets there. Now here is the part that genuinely caught people off guard. On a month-over-month basis, wholesale prices increased by 0.7%. That's 0.7% in a single month. That might not sound massive, but consider this. The expectation was only 0.3%. The actual number more than doubled the forecast. That is a significant miss. On a year-over-year basis, wholesale prices are already up 3.4%. But here is the number that is really getting people's attention. If you take that 0.7% monthly increase and annualize it, meaning you project that same pace forward over a full 12 months, you get an annualized inflation rate of 8.4%. If we continue with this trajectory, that is the direction we are heading. To put that in context, the 2025 COLA was 2.5%. An 8.4% annualized pace is more than 3 times that figure. Even if the actual COLA lands somewhere between 5 and 6%, which many forecasters are now suggesting is entirely plausible, that would still represent a dramatically larger raise than what beneficiaries have seen in the past couple of years. Here is something critically important that many people are overlooking. This PPI data we just discussed is February's data. It only captures what happened through the end of February. And frankly, February was relatively quiet compared to what has happened since. In the month of March, prices have spiked on a wide range of goods, and a major driver of that is energy. Oil prices have surged dramatically, in some cases 40 to 50% in a very short window. And when energy prices rise like that, the effect ripples through the entire economy. It costs more to manufacture goods, more to ship them, more to refrigerate them, and all of that cost eventually lands on you at the checkout line. That means when the next round of PPI and CPI data drops in mid-April, covering the month of March, those numbers are likely to be significantly higher than what we just saw. In fact, it would not be surprising at all if that monthly figure jumps well above the 0.7% we just recorded. And when that happens, the annualized pace we are tracking could climb even further. This is exactly why the forecast of a 5 to 6% COLA for 2027 is being discussed seriously, and some analysts are suggesting that estimate might actually be conservative, not generous. Let's connect all of this directly to what it means for your Social Security benefit. As I mentioned, the SSA uses the CPIW data from July, August, and September to set the annual COLA. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer than it might feel. The summer months will arrive before we know it, and the inflation trajectory we are on right now is building toward those critical measurement months.
Here is what a higher COLA would mean in real dollars. The current average Social Security retirement benefit is approximately $1,976 per month as of 2025. At the current 2.5% COLA, that translated to roughly $48 more per month. But if a COLA of 5% were applied, that same beneficiary would see an increase of approximately $99 per month, or nearly $1,200 more per year. At 6%, that becomes around $118 per month, or over $1,400 in additional annual income. For someone receiving the maximum benefit of $4,018 per month, a 5% COLA would mean $201 more every single month. That's $2,412 per year just from the COLA alone. These are not small numbers. For people on fixed incomes, that difference is genuinely meaningful. And remember, SSDI and SSI recipients also receive COLA adjustments. The maximum federal SSI payment in 2025 is $967 per month for an individual and $1,450 for a couple. A 5% increase would bring those figures to approximately $1,015 and $1,523 respectively. On top of the COLA picture, it is worth remembering that there is already a historic increase in effect for millions of beneficiaries right now in 2025, and this is separate from the inflation discussion entirely. The Social Security Fairness Act, signed into law and effective beginning in 2025, eliminated the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, two rules that had been reducing or completely eliminating Social Security benefits for approximately 3.2 million retired workers and 800,000 spouses, widows, and widowers who also received government pensions from jobs not covered by Social Security. Retired teachers, firefighters, police officers, and certain federal employees who were penalized under these rules are now seeing their full benefits restored, and many are receiving retroactive back payments dating to early 2024. If you think this might apply to you, contact the SSA directly at 1-800-772-1231 or check your account at ssa.gov. With all of this good news circulating, it is important to be clear about what is confirmed versus what is projected, because there is a real difference and there are bad actors trying to exploit the confusion. The 2025 COLA of 2.5% is confirmed and already in effect. The WEP and GPO repeal is confirmed and already in effect. The potential for a significantly higher 2027 COLA in the 5 to 6% range based on current inflation trends is a projection based on real data, but it is not yet confirmed. The official COLA announcement for 2027 will not come until October 2026 after the summer CPIW data is finalized. Do not pay anyone to help you receive your COLA increase or your WEP or GPO adjustment. These happen automatically through the SSA. Anyone calling, texting, or emailing you asking for money or personal information to unlock your higher benefit is running a scam. Hang up immediately and report it. Here is your practical action plan. Log into your account at ssa.gov and review your current benefit amount. If you are affected by WEP or GPO, check whether your benefit has been updated yet. If not, call 1-800-772-1231. Watch for the CPI and PPI reports in mid-April, which will give us a much clearer picture of where inflation is heading this summer. And keep coming back to this channel, because as the data comes in, we will break it down for you in plain language every single time. Here is the bottom line. The economic data coming in right now is signaling that Social Security beneficiaries could be in line for a significantly larger raise than anyone was expecting, potentially in the range of 5 to 6% for 2027, based on inflation trends that are already running well above projections. The summer months will determine the final number, but the early warning signs are pointing in one very clear direction: up. Stay informed, stay cautious about scams, and stay tuned. There's a lot happening right now, and we'll be right here with you every step of the way. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who depends on these benefits. Drop your questions in the comments below, and until next time, take care of yourself.